Now we enter the Branch of Fate, which allows us to finally enter the Birthright route. I decided to change my Corrin build. Instead of using a Priestess talent, I decided to change a Mercenary, which is difficult to get in Birthright. I figured that if I want Miracle, I could probably get it from a Sakura A support instead, and with the Mercenary class line, I could possibly get valuable breaker skills like Axe Breaker and Shuriken Breaker. I then enter Chapter 6 of Birthright against enemies with 100 crit, where Corrin decides to turn on Nora and side with Hoshido, starting a fight against Xander, who has 100 crit. This map has a lot of units, but the objective is simply to defeat Xander, which you can do with only Ryoma. Normally this chapter can be completed very quickly, and your other units won't even have to do anything. So I attack Xander with Ryoma, whose Duelist Blow skill drops Xander's hit rate to 20%, but despite this low accuracy, Xander managed to one-shot Ryoma with a critical hit. Since nobody else in my armor can handle Xander, this quickly leads to a game over. On the next attempt, I have Ryoma attack from the forest, boosting his avoid, which helps him dodge Xander's counter attack. But then on enemy phase, a Cavalier moves in and crits Ryoma for 30 damage. Afterwards, Xander parap attacks for another 30 damage crit, which kills Ryoma again. On attempt number 3, I attack from the forest again, and this time Xander immediately counters with a 10% accuracy critical hit that instantly annihilates Ryoma for the 3rd time in a row. On the 4th attempt, I try something different. I attack again for the forest, and then choose to bait Xander's higher accuracy enemy fates attack by sacrificing the younger siblings Takumi and Hanoka. But this doesn't work out because he just retreats to get healed by Elise and then one-shots Ryoma again anyway. On attempt 5, Xander lands another 10% hit, which once again, for the 5th time in a row, insta-kills Ryoma from full HP. At this point, the sheer amount of ridiculous bad luck I've gotten makes me start to think that I messed up somehow when making the edits for this chapter. But finally, on attempt 6, Ryoma does not instantly die on turn 1 and deals considerable damage to Xander. On the next turn, a Cavalier moves in and this time misses his attack, while Xander's parap attack crits Ryoma for 30 damage, which fortunately is not lethal. Xander retreats to get healed by Elise and Leo moves into attack, only for Ryoma to defeat him with a Vantage crit. I pursue Xander on the next turn, but unfortunately, Elise's personal skill, Lily's Poise, boosts Xander's defense enough to survive combat, which drags the fight on and puts Ryoma at greater risk of being killed by a critical hit. While this is happening, all the rest of the units start attacking my main army, and I have to desperately run away to survive. Xander is healed again by Elise and attacks Ryoma again, but this time I'm lucky enough that he misses, allowing me to finish him off on the next turn, completing the chapter. And I think the main lesson we can learn from this chapter is that dodge tanking will probably not be very good in this challenge.